Moving on, and renew, reuse, and recycle. It's a phrase that should be on everyone's mind these days, and that's especially true if you're applying pesticides to your newly emerging crops. As the season progresses and crop protection products are applied, the handling and disposal of pesticide containers deserves its fair share of attention. Nebraska Extension educator Clyde Ogg came by to offer some tips for recycling used pesticide containers and where they can be dropped off.
The pesticide container recycling program has been ongoing now for 25 plus years, and we try to encourage folks to recycle those empty pesticide containers rather than throwing them in a landfill or in the road ditch or wherever.
So how can somebody find out where to drop off the containers?
Yeah, we have a list of those cooperators on our website, and it's a good idea to go check there. Some of them require appointments, others have hours listed, some are only seasonal availability of sites as well.
And I'm sure you can't just take the container right in. There's got to be some preparation beforehand. What kind of prep do you have to do?
Right, so just standard operating procedures. You triple rinse or pressure rinse your containers as you add them to the tank, and all of that rinse water that comes out of there should go right into the tank and used in that way. So those containers have to be clean and dried. If it has a plastic label on it, remove that. The caps should be rinsed and disposed of separately. It's only the plastic container itself that can go into the program.
Gotcha. Any size restrictions on what you can dispose of?
Yeah, it's normally the 1 gallon, the 2.5 gallon are the standard, but we'll take all the way up to 55-gallon drum sizes. The bigger ones can be arranged for on a case-by-case basis, but those can't just be dropped off at the normal sites.
And maybe reinforce the importance of recycling as opposed to just throwing something away.
Right. I mean, you know, we all know that our landfills are expensive. We've got to protect those items in the landfill from rinsing into the groundwater and contaminating the countryside. So we want to minimize what we put into those landfills. So anything we can save from putting in there, it saved us in the long run expense, and the environment is better protected.
And we've been doing lots of stories about the flooding impacts a lot of different parts of agriculture, and pesticide is one of those things, especially I would think as far as storing pesticide before a flood.
Right, and you know, I talk about storage all the time, and I do use as an example planning ahead if a flood event does occur. And here's a great example this spring when we saw these totally unexpected flash floods and 500-year scale and so forth. And so you really do have to think about what potentially could flood in my area and plan your storage appropriately. You want to try to, as best as you can, put them in areas that aren't likely to flood, so you don't become that guy who has your pesticide containers rinsed down the river or wherever it goes.
The Ag Container Recycling Council, or ACRC, Executive Director Mark Hudson said in 2017 that Nebraska collected nearly 90,000 pounds of containers, which was approximately 28,000 pounds more than in 2016. For more information, you can visit pested.unl.edu/recycling.